All right, you guys, we're just going to get straight into it. Welcome back to Are You Seeing This? I have Courtney or Canary again. Yeah, my
Hello.
co-host. Y'all, there's so much to talk about. We didn't even really talk about the end results of the King and the Queen of the Ring yet. So maybe we can start there, and then obviously we have to talk about all the controversy and the craziness with Monday Night Raw. But I think we predicted the right people.
We did, yeah, very much
Yeah.
so, did we?
Yeah. I'm so happy Nia got it because I wanted her to. I didn't think she was going to. I thought they were going to push Lyra because I was shocked to see Lyra kind of blow through her division like that, or her bracket. But that ending with Nia and Lyra, brutal. Brutal.
It was. Lyra gave it her all. She fought tooth and nail, and I was so proud of that. I was so afraid. Because I even said it on Jedi's Network when I was streaming with them. I was like, I was so afraid that they were just gonna feed Lyra to Nia, and it was just gonna be like one and done, huge squash match. But it wasn't. Lyra put up a good fight. So did Nia. Um,
Yeah.
They both gave 110% in that match, and I believe Nia deserves to win it, and I'm just so happy that she now has the title and the crown.
Yeah. And now she just looks incredibly strong. She beat Bianca, although Bianca was protected by the injury angle. I get it. But still, to beat Bianca Belair is like a big feat, you know? It's a
Mm-hmm.
big thing. It's a big deal. So now Nia just kind of looks incredible, amazing, and she is. And I'm just so happy for her because I was like, she should have been winning, in my opinion. Okay. She's really dominant, and they had started her off like that. So I wanted to see them continue to do it. And now she's Queen of the Ring. And it was such a cute, emotional moment with Triple H and her. And like, I swear Triple H was like tearing up a little bit. Or I think I saw a little bit of like emotions from him, but it was so, so sweet to see that. And then Lyra just put on one of her best performances ever. There was like a part or like a moment where she was like outside of the ring. And I just was like, oh my God, I literally saw her last year. I don't even remember, like November
Mm-hmm.
at a live show event in small Tampa arena. You know, it's like a small little thing, like a school gym, and literally saw her there. And now she's like on this, in Saudi Arabia. Like, what? She's in Saudi doing some big stuff. Like, that's crazy. But her wings,
Oh
they,
my gosh.
I swear they watch what we say. I swear, because I could have sworn we talked about the wings before, and I was like, I want to see big wings, and we got big wings.
Like they were the same size of her arm span. So I was like, wow, okay, that's really cool. Like it was a WrestleMania type entrance that they gave her at King and Queen of the Ring. And I think that's absolutely amazing, especially in Saudi Arabia. Like that was great.
Right. Do you think they watch what we say?
I definitely think they do, just because Triple H says on a weekly basis, I'm having to do 180s when it comes to certain storylines. Like, we listen to what you guys have to say and we'll take bits and pieces and we'll run with it. Because in my head, I was like, I knew it. I was like, because I just said something about this like 2 weeks ago.
I'm like, it can't be. Like, maybe it's just a coincidence, or like maybe multiple people are saying the same things. But like, we were literally talking about like wanting to see bigger wings, because I was like, we made a whole thing of like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not a bird person. And you're like, I'm a bird person.
I'm a
I'm
bird
a
person.
And then we get these ginormous angel-like wings. Oh my God, they were amazing. Her like gear was one of my favorite gears ever, like at Saudi. The black and blue. Oh my God, it was so, so perfect. It was just beautiful. She looked like a superhero. It was so cool.
She
But
did.
okay, what about Gunther? Did you think Gunther was gonna beat Randy? I'm surprised by that.
I was super surprised, just because you have Randy, who's this veteran, so you could see like all the years that in every like era that he's been in, and then you see Gunther, who kind of just symbolizes the now era of
Mhm.
WWE. So it was really fun, honestly, in my opinion, to watch them go back and forth. And then, of course, I wanted Randy to win just because I love him. But
Really?
I was also torn because I love both him and Gunther. But Gunther ultimately ended up getting the crown, and I think he deserves that if they're going to keep building him up as this like really big bad type person. Doesn't need a belt in order to be powerful, in order to be scary, in order to be intimidating type thing. And I think that's what they're doing with giving him the crown. Now, do I wish he would actually put it on his head? Yes, but he doesn't.
Yeah. I was expecting more of a winning streak with Randy, but he's kind of been on a losing streak, huh? But I wanted Daddy Gunther to win, so I was happy for Gunther to win. And like I feel like he was an underdog in that match, and you know, a lot of people were rooting for Randy, but I don't know why. I just felt like Gunther was going to take it. I just knew he was, because he was on such a dominant run already, and I feel like they want to continue that with him. So, and then they're going to put him against Damien. So I like Gunther. I really like Gunther. He's so mature, and he's just like a no BS guy. Like he's not there for the drama in the games. He just comes, he wrestles, he smacks you around, he chops you, and you know, that's his thing. And then he leaves. He leaves. But yeah, Randy is kind of getting the Bobby effect right now. It's kind of like the Bobby effect. Oh, poor Randy. Okay. Monday Night Raw. Let's just get into it. I'm like, we have to jump on this right now because oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even know, the whole Liv and Dom stuff trumped the whole show. Like I can't even remember most of even what went on other than Alpha Academy, their little moment. I can't remember. I can't recall.
Like it was one of those moments where it's like they cut the camera at the perfect time because they knew that the entire world, if they were to see that, the entire world was going to lose their absolute shit. Like, and the whole world did. Like, people were posting, this is what happened when it cut off the air on USA Network. And my entire timeline when I woke up, because I had a really bad migraine yesterday, so I was just sleeping on and off throughout the day. I wake up and my entire timeline is just in shambles because of that one moment. And then another moment with Damien and Finn in the back where they're all talking. And Damon's like, well, is something about talking about Liv too much? And then looking directly at Finn. So I'm like, what's getting spicy? Liv really did take everything from mommy. She stole her title. Well, not stole, took it. Took her man. And by the way, let me just say my favorite part of that entire exchange was watching Liv walk up the ramp and then Dom just slowly standing up as she gets closer.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We didn't even talk about that. Yeah, we didn't even talk about in Saudi, Liv winning. Like I screamed. I was so shocked by that. I was like, "Oh my god, she did it!" Like, oh my! I thought they were gonna like make us wait a little bit longer, and but then when Dom came out, I was like, "Oh no, we might get it right now because he's gonna mess it up somehow." And he did. He messed it up. He jacked it up, and he gave Rhea's biggest op currently at the moment the title. So, and not the title, like the title, the Women's World title. So I had posted this on my Twitter, but if we look at the history with Rhea and Liv, Rhea betrayed Liv, okay, because she felt that Liv didn't help her when it was the tag team titles or whatever, and she blamed Liv, which is a very debatable thing, right? And so she turned on her that day, that moment, after like having this really beautiful blossoming friendship, whatever the hell they had, for that, you know, long. And but with Dom, it's just like everyone's like excusing all of his mistakes. And it's not just a tag team title, you know, it's not a tag title, it's the title. So it's like, why we keep making excuses for Dom, but Rhea turned on Liv for much less, is just all I'm saying.
No, exactly.
So Dom messed up a lot, and with the kiss, that's a lot. That's a lot to mess up on. And people are like, oh, well, Liv kissed him. He's not going to kiss her back while being filmed.
I was about to say, that camera was real, it got all up in there. And let me just say, I don't think Home Slice Delight was holding back all that much, just from like, I'm just saying, like, I've seen like one-sided kiss pictures before. Yes, they're cringeworthy, but all I'm saying is Dom he didn't pull away. He didn't pull away. He wasn't like, no, get off me. And he more than could have. He has one arm. He could have done it, but he didn't.
We are definitely stirring the pot here on purpose, of course. It definitely looked one-sided. He didn't look too happy about it, but I think it's really funny what he posted on his Instagram with the Kermit the Frog, like I effed up. But what was more important to me was the song that he put with that post. And basically in the song, it talks about having a hard time resisting temptation and that there's a bunch of girls on you. Like, did y'all listen to the lyrics?
No, but I'm gonna go back and listen to these lyrics because like you're right. The lyrics matter.
I'm telling you, it talked about why does sin have to feel like a sensation? Y'all gotta go back and listen to that song because it basically talks about, not resisting temptation. So I feel like there was other things going on behind the screen, and obviously he has to pretend like he's not liking the kiss, he wouldn't just join Liv and be all happy about the kiss because that would make it too obvious, if we're talking about the storyline. I'm really trying to stir y'all up right now.
All right, if we're just gonna keep stirring the pot more, I'm just gonna bag on top of this. Alrighty, I've been waiting for this moment.
Yes.
If we're stirring the pot, if you look back, if you really think about it, Dom is the youngest person inside of Judgment Day. He was, if we're looking at the story as a whole from how he joined to where he is now, he was basically kidnapped by Rhea. So in a term of sensing of the word, he never really thought for himself. He never really did anything for himself. It was all based off of Mommy and what she wanted to do. And then what Judgment Day wanted and what titles they were going to go after and who was going to hold them and who wasn't going to hold them. And now he's got a little bit more freedom now that Mommy's not here. Yes, he has to save face, and yes, he has to be like, oh, yeah, I don't want this, but I have to tell the world I don't want this. But in my head, I'm like, that's right. Go live.
And so, people are like posting things about him liking Liv's post and liking things about Liv on his. And, guys, social media is just like another extension of their personality, their TV personalities. So I think it's just really funny. They know what they're doing when they like these things and they do these things. They want us to talk about it. They want us to create more drama around it. So I think it's just really funny. People are like, oh, Dom would never do this and and like going back to your point about the story, Dom and Rhea's relationship was never a healthy relationship. It was never healthy, you guys. She literally strangled him with her legs and forced him into the group. She tried to do the same thing with Liv, but Liv was not having it. Liv was not going to allow herself to be betrayed by Rhea and forced into their group. The difference is Dom did allow it, so Dom was, I guess, more mentally weak, I guess, when it comes to that. But she tried to do the same thing with Liv. Liv said no. She's like, I'm not joining you. You betrayed me. What are you talking about? So
yeah, I'm not your lapdog like Dom.
What was it?
I said she ain't a lapdog like Dom.
No, she stood up for herself. And I think Dom just went from being controlled by his daddy to being controlled by his mommy. I thought my boob popped out. I was like, oh shit. I was like, so
we're going viral now.
No, bitch. No way. Y'all gotta, I don't know, pay for that or something. I don't know. But yeah, so Dom was just easily controlled. So if he was so easily controlled by his dad and by his mommy, then he can be easily controlled by Liv. So, y'all, Rhea and Dom's relationship was never healthy. Never. Ever, 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 ever. And Liv was never the villain. People are like, oh, she's such a villain. Da, da, da. She did all this. She's a villain because she's returning the favor. But she didn't, she's finishing it. She didn't start it. That was Rhea. Rhea started all of this. So I don't feel bad, y'all. I don't feel bad. I think they're trying to what I think they're trying to do is make it so that Rhea's a face again.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I'm just like, she's always going to be the villain to me. Like, she's always going to be the villain until I see something different, until I see changed behavior in her character,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, doing good things, not sneaky things and bad things. When I see good things, then I will think she's a face. But until then, I'm not going to feel bad. This is kind of like karma in a way. I feel like this is karma.
Yeah. Like, you're going to go
Um,
all around the locker room, take everything from her, take everything from everybody else. And now that everything was taken from you,
yeah,
you now feel like it's an injustice towards you specifically. Well, no,
no.
this is karma. And if you guys think back to Liv's character when she started going solo after she left the Riot Squad, her gimmick at the time, even though it didn't really resonate over at the time, it makes sense now. She was the literal embodiment of karma. She was the walking female embodiment of karma. And she showed that week after week when it came to that character. But like I said, at the time, it just didn't translate and resonate with people. So they ended up going a different direction with it. But now you're seeing bits and pieces of that old character come in with this new revenge tour character. Because it's the same basis, just a different title.
Yeah. I think that her revenge tour, her revenge tour is well earned and deserved, and I think they're making her look so strong, and I love that because for me it's hard to see Liv as a strong competitor because she's smaller, and that no hate towards that, but when you are a smaller wrestler, it's harder to make a big impact, I guess, in terms of like against bigger girls and people who look bigger, like a Jade or a Bianca, but they're making her look as good as they can. They're giving her everything. They're putting her on top. She's like the top merchandise seller right now, which is amazing. I got to get me a shirt. I'm Team Liv.
Same.
I got to get me a shirt. And but she's just like, they're skyrocketing her. They posted her on banners on their page, on the Twitter page, of her and Dom kissing and stuff. It's all in good fun, but also, this is like it kind of relates to real life because it's kind of like these things happen in real life, like karma happens in real life, and it's funny to see like the storylines play out in a more TV show like way. But these type of things happen for real, so that's why we all connect to them so well, and why we have an emotional attachment to the storylines. But now I'm kind of thinking, what will Rhea do next? Like I sat there and talked about it to my girlfriend, and I'm like, she got about three good options. She got about three good options. Then I'll tell you the three good options, and then you can tell me what you think. The first option is she disappears completely and only comes back when she comes back, type of thing, and like stays off of social media and doesn't like respond. The second option is like she responds like an angry girlfriend or jealous girlfriend, which I don't think she will do. And then the third one is she will post something cryptic or, like a symbol and not explain it, and then like disappear for a little bit, or like only pop in to post cryptic messages or something like this. Those are the only three things that I could come up with that some way she can kind of battle this. But I'm just like, someone, I think it was Yonder, they posted a close-up of the kiss, and it was like, there was tongue, y'all. There was tongue kissing involved. And I'm just like, how do you come back from that? Like, how do you come back from that? Rhea and Dom never even had an on-screen kiss, which everyone wanted. Especially people who were of that fan base. they wanted that so bad and it never happened. Like, how do you come back as a character? Like, how do you combat that? What would you do? What would you do?
What would I do if I was in that? Oh man. If I was in Rhea's position
Yeah.
and everything was taken from me, I would probably go the route of being cryptic. So change absolutely everything about yourself, your demeanor, the way you carry yourself, from your clothes to your hair, all of that. Complete 360, absolutely everything changes. That's what I would do. I would go around the line of being the cryptic one, going from, well, you thought this version of me was bad? Wait till you meet this one. Because if you look at it in a psychological way, and that's how I look at most of these things when it comes to the story, and you put yourself in the person's position that has everything happening to them specifically. So if it was for me and someone stole my boyfriend, stole, my title, and, basically just the people around me as well, which is what she's slowly doing with Judgment Day, I would absolutely go off the break. I would lose my absolute hell, and I'd probably have an emotional breakdown to the point where everything changes, and then there's a flip switch in me that's like, you're never going to see this old me again that you saw when I left. You're not going to get that same version of me. Almost like a harder lone wolf type version. Like,
ooh, yeah.
Well, I had this family. I had this person that said they'd always be here for me. They'd always be there for me. Nothing's going to change. We got your back no matter what. Well, when I was gone, none of that was proven. So at this point, I'm a lone wolf. So that's how I could see them taking her route, because she's going to see it as Judgment Day wasn't strong enough when it comes to willpower. They weren't strong enough to hold their own when she was gone. So why should she help them now? If they can't do the simple.
Yeah. Which is exactly why she betrayed Liv. She said she wasn't strong enough to, be on her own, or she wasn't strong enough to care. So it's like, if Judgment Day is not strong enough without you, then that means that they're weighing you down. But oh my gosh, I don't know how she's gonna recover from that. And I'm gonna soak this up for as long as I can, you guys. Okay, just let me have my moment. Okay, I went a whole year with the whole Rhea bandwagoners, and I was always like, she's a villain. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. And now, this is the good guys year, and I'm here for it. I love the good guys story. I love when the good guys win. Okay, so I'm just I'm flabbergasted. I think I will be flabbergasted for a while. I can't believe it. I know they all probably talked about it, but oh my gosh, this is I think it's going to actually skyrocket Rhea, because people are going to feel really bad for her and like, oh, they mistreated you and yada, yada. And they did. But like I said, I think she has also returned the favor to most of all the women in the division. So, it's kind of like, this is what happened. But
yeah,
oh my God, I don't know.
Depending on how Liv is as a champ, like whether she is like a full-blown heel or whether she's like kind of teetering in the middle of being a face and then a heel at the same time. But as far as I can tell, she's more of a heel right now. If they do this correctly with her title run, they could run this storyline all the way to War Games.
That's what people are saying, yeah. Team Liv, Team Rhea against each other. I just don't see Liv as a villain. Like, I know a lot of people will, because, like I said, they just feel so deeply for Rhea and her story, her character. They resonate with the little mischievous, evil side. I don't know, but so they'll see Liv as a heel, but I see her as a hero. I see her as the good guy. But you're right. I don't know. She's been getting a lot of views. I think they were like at 18 million views or something, or something crazy, something wild, or 8 million. Maybe it's 8. I don't know. It's either 18 or 8, which is a big difference, but I can't remember. So she's a draw, and people are like, "Oh, well, no one's gonna care about Liv," and it's not true. Like people like the stories, and people care for the storylines that are this deep. So, what did you think about? Did you have anything else with the whole
No.
Liv and Dom?
No, but I think the one that would be last to leave Judgment Day would probably be Damien, because he's going to try his absolute hardest to keep the group together for Mommy. And Damien may be the only one Mommy does not have a problem with when she comes back. Maybe.
You think so?
I said maybe.
She might blame him for not
Might.
being able to hold it down. They had their whole issues because they had a power dynamic struggle between the both of them about who's the better leader and stuff. And to be honest, I really actually like Damien as a leader because he leads by example.
Yeah.
He's not like someone who's manipulative and controlling and like doing all the things behind the scenes. And maybe that does work because it's WWE and they like the evil stuff and like being the trickery and deceptive stuff works.
Yep.
But Damien's really not that way. He's actually pretty hero like because lately he has been like stopping ganging up on people. Like he doesn't like the ganging up on people and beating people, like he wants to be more like we're just powerful and that's it. We don't need to like do extra. And then he goes out and he shows them what he wants them to do or like how he wants them to be. He's like, I just lead by example. I'm not forcing you guys to do anything or like telling you guys what to do. You're just going to have to follow what I do or like learn from me, type of thing. Compared to Rhea, she was more behind the scenes, deceptive and trickery and, the little gameplays and sneaking stuff and, fixing the matches type of thing. Or, she was more like that, which worked because again it's WWE and they like that type of stuff. It's like they're gonna make the bad stuff kind of trump sometimes. But she was more controlling, telling them what to do. Damien was more like you can just watch what I do and learn. And so I kind of like his leadership better. But I know it hasn't been working, so it's hard to choose. But I think she will be upset with him. I think they will like separate.
They might, yeah.
I think they might at this point. It's just becoming way too messy. But yeah, so I kind of want to move on to the Alpha Academy and then we can kind of just end it there. I know like we didn't really talk about any matches, but the story was better this week than the actual matches themselves. We also had Kyrie, just to mention them really quick. Kyrie and Lyra, with Lyra winning. People think that Becky's passing the torch to Lyra, which I kind of agree with.
I could see it.
Speaking of Becky, she kind of got overshadowed a little bit last night from the kiss and stuff. So, but I think that's going to be her last match for a while. I think she's taking a break or something like this, but I have no doubt she'll be back. Like, I feel like she will. I think, and she made a post saying that to be continued. So I think that means she'll be back one day. But I feel like she's like, my man hurt. He's at home with baby. I want to be at home with my family too. I miss my man. So she probably just wants to be back with her family. But yeah, so there's that. But the Alpha Academy, Maxine Dupree saving Otis.
That I was expecting something like that to happen. I was more so expecting it to be the other way around, more so of Otis saving Maxine from Chad. But it was a pleasant surprise to see them have Maxine step in that forefront role. It's like you're not going to touch him just because you're on this ridiculous power struggle because you yourself keep losing and blaming everybody else around you instead of blaming yourself, homie.
Right.
So it's like you're not going to touch him, someone who's literally been your ride or die since he joined Alpha Academy, when he actually stole him from Maxim Male Models. Let me just make that point perfectly clear. Otis belonged to Maxine way before Otis belonged to Chad. Let me just say that. So
yeah.
in terms of that, I think we are going to see the downfall of Alpha Academy with the weeks, coming as much as I hate to say that, because I really did love Alpha Academy together, especially when I saw them live. Even though all three of them worked together, they all did perform. And it was so amazing to watch, and just hearing their music, watching them wrestle, and just seeing Chad. I'm going to say this. I knew that heel turn was coming when he lost at that Super Show in my hometown. That's when I knew. I was like, his facial expression isn't how it normally is. Because normally when he loses, he's like, yeah, he's a little upset, but then he like centers himself, and then he's all like, shoo, and does his thing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the Super Show, he kind of lingered a little bit, kept hitting the mat, and then like got up and did his thing. So I was like, okay, there's a heel turn imminent here. I'm not sure when it's going to happen. And lo and behold, I was right. So
he is annoying.
He is so annoying.
He is so annoying, which means he's doing his job perfectly well. I'm like, I agree with you. I even like made a post. I was like, I was expecting, Otis to save Maxine, maybe like when Chad started yelling at her or something, like to come and save, because obviously Otis isn't going to help himself. So maybe he will help other people that he cares about, So maybe they're building it up, hopefully, for him, since Maxine put herself on the line for him, he'll put himself on the line for her. And that'll be a cool moment. And honestly, if Alpha Academy like has any issue, I hope they just kick Chad out and stay together. And then, when Chad is back on his face turn, to accept him back or something like this. That would be an awesome, like, full circle, like, back together moment. But I don't want Alpha Academy to all split up. That would be really sad. So maybe just kick Chad out until he acts right, and then comes, have him come back when he's better or something. But yeah, I think I'm just so ready for Otis to kind of turn on him a little bit and get him to act right, because I cannot stand him right now. It's like making me so mad.
That's what I wanted from the very beginning when I first started watching Otis, because the first time I saw him was when he was in the tag team Blue Collar Solid, with Tucker, before Tucker got released, I believe. And even then, I wanted him to turn on his partner, because his partner was the one that was, treating them badly, blaming him for losing all the matches. And it's eerily similar to what Chad is doing to Otis. So I'm like, Otis, you gotta, like he did when he was at the King of the Ring tournament and like clotheslined him. That is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see more of that, even though we all knew it was an accident. But still, it was well warranted and well deserved. He deserved that. But I want to see them kind of stop putting Otis in the weak link role and make him like this strong, big, badass competitor that he can be. Because if they're going to push Bronson Reed like that, why not push Otis like that as well?
I know. It's so sad, man. Otis is just such a gentle giant. He just gives me that gentle giant. He's so cute. Like, never hurts a fly, I hate to see him treated so awfully, but I know he'll have his moment, and then things will be better and the world will be good again. The world will be a better place. No, I was kidding. But yeah, that was a cool little moment as well. I really can't think of any others. I think we had LWO as well. They did good. Ray, winning. I love to see Ray win. The good guys won. Carlito and who was it? JD came out to beat him up or something, or like to get him after the show, and that's when Damien and them came out. Yeah, Damien looked over.
I just can't take Carlito seriously in the Judgment Day. Like, I can't. Like, I'm sorry. I can't take him seriously. Because I grew up watching him from when he would put the apple inside his pants and then take it out. And, like, that's what I grew up watching him on. So I see him as, like, this Latin forefront person. And, like, have him join not LWO, but have him join Legado del Fantasma. Don't put him with the Judgment Day. He sticks out like a sore thumb with them, even with Dom.
It's like an R-Truth moment, but like it's not as funny. It's not as funny. They're like, we're just throwing anybody together now. It's like I think one of them said it before, that they're like misfits in a way. Like they just put like random people together, but it like gels. It works sometimes, and it's funny, and it's like, whatever. But Yeah, it's an odd pairing. But this week is just gonna be. I told people, I was like, y'all might want to mute me.
Dude,
Y'all
for
might
real.
want to mute me because I'm all for the live revenge tour. I think it's only like, I swear it's like me and Maddie. And I don't really see anybody else that are team live.
Y'all are gonna have to mute me when the Wyatt 6 debut because I will not shut up. You're gonna have to mute me and block me, or possibly both.
I'm sick of the QR codes. They need
Me
to come on
too.
now. They need to come on. They need
Especially
to
since
hurry
I'm
up.
starting to piece together who their first rivalry is going to be with. Like, I'm
Uh-huh.
almost 99.9% sure it's going to be with Cody Rhodes because they talked about a
Really?
prodigal son. And Cody Rhodes, if I'm not mistaken, for a little bit went by the prodigal son.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I didn't realize that.
So I'm like piecing together these, and it's
Why
one of
would they
it's.
go for Why would they go for Cody though? Like, do they have beef or history, or is it just because he has the title?
I think it's because he has the title and they're going for like whoever's like the pinnacle, the tippy top of like the food chain.
Mm.
So if it wasn't Cody Rhodes and if Roman Reigns retained, it most likely would have been Roman Reigns. But
Oh,
that I don't think will happen until he comes back or something like that because Roman was the only one that the Fiend never beat, if that makes sense.
who do you who or like when do you think they'll come back?
From everything that I read now, from I think they're going to be back around, they should be debuting around June 17th. This is what if everything that I read and the timelines that I've been tracking are correct, it should be June 17th because that is when the embodiment of what they're doing now technically feasts in the biblical sense.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You're like deep in down the rabbit hole.
yeah, I'm
um,
so far down this rabbit hole. Like, I'm not kidding. The other day, I think I spent like 3 hours without even realizing it, sitting in this chair, just typing things on the computer, writing things down, piecing things together, deciphering things. And then next thing I know, it's like 9 o'clock at night.
what about the so I'm sure you saw the Alexa, well, people are saying it's Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
Like it was like blurry image of a woman or something.
It was
Of
a blurry
Raw.
image of a blonde woman in a black tube top with black and white striped pants. So I understand why people are saying that. It would make sense if it was her, but height wise, I think it's a little bit too tall to be her. Unless she's wearing heels, then I could possibly see it being her. I'd have to put a side by side image of them together. But it honestly, it could be her because there have been little things on the internet saying that Uncle Howdy's been at every single show. And I'm not lying. There are people that have like pulled up pictures, and it's like right when you come out through like one of the like stadium doors. If they're like playing basketball, you come through one of those tunnels, and it's like pitch black. But every now and then you could see something sitting in like the tunnelway. So people are saying that it's him because in one of the QR codes, he said that he's been watching the entire time. So he's always watching. Now,
Oh Lordy.
what better way for that to make sense than him saying within the storyline that he's physically been there week after week after week?
Yeah.
Because how else would he have known that Nikki was looking for friends and that she didn't have any? How would he have known that Dexter had a family, but then was turned away because they all turned on him? Which I'm going to need more information on that story because I don't think anyone from the way turned on Dexter. So I'm going to need more info on that one. I'm going to need a lot more info on that one.
I saw the picture. It didn't look like, to me, it didn't really look like, one, it was just too blurry, but it didn't look like her facial structure to me. I don't know. It didn't really look like her to me.
Well, you got to think, and people have told me this, when you go through a pregnancy, sometimes it changes your features. Like it'll change like way you hold weight, where you retain it, stuff like that. Sometimes they said it can change facial features, like the way that you retain it or like the way that your face is. I don't know. I've never had a kid,
Yeah.
so I can't.
I will admit it does look like a rounder face. And
Mhm.
I just remember Alexa having very sharp features, so maybe that's the case. Who knows? But I'm just like, they need to hurry up. I'm
They
tired of
do,
waiting. They need
'cause
to
my
hurry
brain
up.
hurts.
Oh, you guys, just like I said, if it becomes too much, you can mute me. But I always try to keep it like just playful. I'm not like trying to really hurt anyone's feelings or be mean or anything like this. I think it's just playful rivalry, and it's just all for fun, funsies. That's it.
It is.
And it's just a moment. This moment will pass, and Rio will be on top again. When she comes back, she's gonna make freaking hell for everybody. So I'm just enjoying it for right now because I know that when she comes back, she's gonna be dominating the division once again. So don't feel too down, you guys. It'll get better. I promise.